this is the best choice?
Yeah. A monster like him won't stop if we box him in. We have to ensure that he won't be able to do anything while we prepare to fight back. Yeah, okay. I mean, we gotta do this. You gotta have some backbone, James. Come on. Everyone nodded, most in reluctance, while the others did with confidence. Diana, however, turned to the orc man with a stern face.
As for your reluctance, Sir Brute, we won't be using one of your men.
Well then, who would you use?
Yeah, who is it gonna be, Diana? At that moment, Diana smirked, sending a familiar shiver down my spine. For a split second, I swore I saw a flash of gold cross her visible eye as she replied to Matthew.
A little mongrel who had the nerve to electrocute me in my own castle.
Oh damn, she's mad. She's a little scary when she's mad. I stared. There really was an imp in the castle? However, my mind released the question to focus on Diana's smirk. Something was off about Diana, and I couldn't put my finger on what it was. They never showed them capturing the imp, though. When I came to the demon world, I had barely recognized her and didn't expect her kindness. Now, as I was staring at her at that moment, I again recognized the woman who had attacked me in the human world. Diana shook her head before crossing her arms and looking directly at me.
So, since you'll be here for a while,
yeah, girl?
We might as well give you names that you can use to refer to.
Yeah, I already know all their names. There's Rabbit, Faye, blah, 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 blah.
Are we getting human names?
Yeah, girl, thing.
Sweet.
Jesus. Diana rolled her eyes and gestured to each demon, naming them on the fly.
For the sake of time, we'll use simple names.
Rabbit.
This is Rabbit.
Sergeant. Faye.
Sergeant, commander of our
Shadow.
armies. Shadow, leader of our assassins. And Faye, our nomadic.
Yep.
Sergeant, I'm a commander.
Then he's gonna bitch about it because God forbid he's not named Commander.
It's easier on the tongue, though, to say sergeant.
That's true.
My lady, what shall they call me?
Diana looked at Ciaro for a moment before turning towards me, a look of seriousness emanating from her eyes.
You may call him Cero. He is my personal guard, and he is always by my side.
You mean your boy toy? The other demons in Ciaro seemed to be surprised. Was Ciaro his true demon name? Why would she give me his true name?
Are you sure?
This time, obviously it won't be the same as Matthew's path, but if I have to call someone, I will be calling Ciaro. I'm not gonna make that same fucking mistake as the last time,
Call
the last
him
path.
only if your life depends on it. Do not
Yes, ma'am.
use this permission.
Promise. Her eyes seemed to burn as she gazed into mine, full of hard intent and warning. I mentally noted her seriousness as she ran a hand through her hair.
Well, now that we have a plan and introductions are out of the way, I believe we can end this meeting. We have a lot to accomplish.
That's true.
What about us? You don't expect us to sit around.
Actually, I do. You all don't belong on the back.
Fuck you, bitch!
Now listen.
Yeah, listen to, Erdessa.
I will not take untrained
Alright.
and unarmed beings into a war zone.
Pretty sure that the brothers all know how to fight. Hold on! I interjected, stepping forward and crossing my arms at Diana. She seriously wasn't gonna make us stay back while she fought the Demon Lord, was she? Diana nodded to me, a look of sincerity in her eyes as she locked her gaze with mine. I knew she was trying to protect us, but was it necessary?
Unless you can fight, I can't guarantee.
I know
that you
some
will
good-ass
survive this.
taekwondo, bitch! Demons won't know what hit them.
We're demons, for fuck's sake. We know how to fight.
Yeah. The boy stared at Diana as she turned her head towards Sam. I mean, you did get just a first glimpse at what Sam could do. I would add that to my team if I could. I'm just saying, just putting that out there, He was right, though. They knew how to train, so they knew how to fight. If they fought with the rebellion, there'd be a better chance of winning this war.
You all realize this is a war, correct?
No, I thought this was
can
fucking
die.
tea time. Of course I know. I'm gonna die either way, apparently.
We understand, too.
Yeah. Diana could only stare at our group as we challenged her proclamation. I wrapped my hand around my fiancé's arm, frightened at the idea of participating in a war, but knowing that we needed all the strength we could muster to finish off the Demon Lord. This was the only way that I could go home. Defeated, Diana sighed and rubbed her temples.
Very well. I can't exactly keep you here like prisoners.
No, you can't.
So it will be
Well,
up to
I mean,
you
I
if
am
you choose to train
here either
for
way,
battle.
but...
However, I highly suggest just...
I don't fucking care. I nodded, as did the others. This was really happening. We were going to kill the Demon Lord, and we had 1 week to either prepare for war or wait it out. Diana turned towards me and looked down at my outfit. I had nearly forgotten that I was still in my wedding dress until Diana pointed at my chest.
Lumen infere.
Blah, 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 blah. Woo! Change of clothes! I stared at her, unsure of why she was speaking in Latin, until I felt the fabric around my body shift and change. I quickly looked down to see my wedding dress morph into an outfit that looked perfect for the demon world. Which is nothing, apparently, because she's not wearing clothes. The white top shifted into a long-sleeve oversized tunic with a leather corset and vest, while the bottom part of my gown split and wrapped around my legs, forming into dark leggings. My shoes stretched into long, knee-high boots.
Ooh, interesting.
Thanks, girl! You have interesting pinchers on the side of your head. Yeah. I blushed, getting used to the feel of the outfit. The corset wasn't tight, but it was still something new along with the rest of the garb. Sam looked at me up and down before glancing away, blushing a bit.
You look good.
Aw, thanks! Mwah, I love you! Thanks.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to head for the Demon Lord's castle.
Do
Alright.
you plan to shadow travel?
No, I have another method. Don't worry. I'll be back by morning.
I wasn't really worried anyways. Then I looked at Faye and nodded to them as they pressed their lips together in a tight line.
Faye, please escort our guests to the remaining open rooms while I'm gone.
Yes, back to the bedroom!
All
Like
right.
fucking... Let's go.
Set up.
Yes, my lady.
Sarah walked towards Diana and followed her out of the room. The other demons, however, looked towards us.
I'll take you to your rooms then.
Why do you gotta sound so fucking disappointed?
Thank you.
Jesus.
We truly appreciate it.
Thank James. I mean, Faye. My mind for a moment wandered to Diana and remembered her almost evil smirk when we decided to perform the curse. What was she planning to do? Hopefully nothing truly sadistic. Fuck him. It was an imp, and he was a jerk anyways. The walk to our room became a silent journey. Sam and I held hands, but for some reason there were no words to say between us. This entire situation sat in my mind and festered, plaguing my thoughts and causing me to remain speechless. All of this seemed so unreal and hard to imagine, let alone believe. How was this possible? I felt Sam gently squeeze my hand, causing me to look over at him. Was he feeling my anxiousness somehow?
Hey, you sure you're alright?
I mean, I guess. This is like a life-death situation here, Sam, but, you know, I'm good. I mean, if we're not counting that. I stared at him a bit longer before replying. Yeah. I wasn't alright. All of this was a muddled mess, and I couldn't help but worry. It had to have been obvious anyway for Sam to notice and ask. I picked yes because last time we picked no when we were doing Matthew. I'm trying to pick all the opposite stuff so that we can get different shit. Still, I didn't want him to know, especially if these worries were going to fade away eventually. I smiled at him and hugged his arm to me, making Sam gasp before smiling a bit and pulling me to him.
Alright. Whatever you say.
I didn't even say anything.
I'm glad you're safe.
Thanks. I'm glad you came. Sam and I were guided through the hallways until we finally reached our room, which happened to be the ambassador room I had slept in before. It was good to know that I was going to a place I recognized. I sat on the bed and let out a sigh, feeling the worry of the entire situation sink and fade out of my mind. I wasn't alone, at least anymore, and Sam was willing to fight for me to return home. It was unexpected, but it was amazing to have Sam here. Sam looked around the room, taking in the space.
Fancy room.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking boss, if I say so myself. Yeah, apparently it's an open ambassador's room. They let me sleep here when I came.
That was how long ago?
Like, fucking yesterday? Like, a day? Sam laughed and stuffed his hands into his pockets. His hands are always in his pockets, 24/7. They're never not in his pockets. I don't even know if he has hands, to be honest. Like, I don't even know. What was so funny?
Oh, fuck. I forgot the time difference between this world and the human
Ah,
world.
man, Sam, I love you. Yeah, there is a difference. Wait, time difference?
Yeah, time goes slower here and stuff. So, like, while you've been here a day, you've only been gone from the human world for 4 or 5 hours.
Pretty sweet. Wait, huh? I was only gone for 4 or 5 hours? How is that possible? And again, I was in another plane, so it was somewhat understandable. My brain just couldn't wrap around it, so I held my head, staring at the floor in shock. Honestly, if this was me, literally nothing would surprise me anymore at this point. I'd be like, of course that's how it is. Sam laughed again and walked over to me, sitting by my side before he wrapped an arm around my shoulder in comfort.
At least we found you. If it weren't for Damien and Twyla, it would have taken us longer.
I nodded, relieved, regardless of how I was found. While I couldn't get back, there was a beacon of hope now, which replaced my previous worry and concern. I leaned my head onto Sam's shoulder, feeling exhaustion hit me like a wave, but I didn't want to sleep just yet. I was with Sam, so I wished to stay up just a bit longer and be awake with him. Sam?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know what to say. I just wanted to be awake a while longer. I looked up at him as he turned his head to look down at me, patiently waiting for me to ask whatever he assumed I was going to ask. Is this a thing that's gonna lead to the giggity goo? Because that kind of seems like the giggity goo answer. So if I wanted to stay awake longer, then Sam needed to help me do that. Sam looked down at me and turned our bodies gently to face one another.
What do you want me to do?
I guess just talk to me, man. Or, I mean, anything. I didn't want our reunion to end for the day with us going to bed. A kiss, a hug, a conversation, anything was acceptable as long as I got to be awake that much longer. Sam gently lifted my chin and lowered his head to kiss me, allowing me the choice to take his lips with mine by stopping a mere centimeter away. I took it and melted into the kiss, wrapping my arms around him. My head and my heart became full of Sam, feeling his heartbeat against my chest, tasting his lips against my own. Memories flooded back of us holding one another, and I began to mentally thank God for letting us be together again. Sam wrapped his arms around my waist, pulling me close but not taking us any further. The kiss was slow, intimate, and romantic in every form. That was yet another thing I loved about Sam. He knew when to take things slow with me, and knew when not to go deeper than that. He respected me, loved me, and wanted to protect me with his entire being. I was blessed to have him as mine, and mine alone. Okay, so that was just a good, cute moment. Okay. As we pulled away at last, Sam let a smug grin paint his face.
Well, I guess one good thing came out of this. I get to kick my old man's ass.
That's the thing, I guess. I knew Sam hated his father, but was it really a good thing? In retrospect, yes. Morally, it was questionable. I don't think so. His dad's a dick. You really hate him, don't you? The smile on Sam's face slowly diminished to an angry expression, his eyes full of rage but his mouth pressed into a fine line.
Yeah, I do.
She literally just asked, "You really hate the guy that tortured you and your family, huh?" Like, that was not an obvious answer. Sam slowly stood back up and walked towards the fireplace, staring into it with his hands clenched into fists at his sides.
That bastard made me and my brothers miserable for years. We finally escaped. And then he grows the balls to try to steal the woman I love away from me.
Oh, hell no. Sam.
That bastard kills for fun. He burns kingdoms to the ground for not submitting to him, and murders hundreds just because he can.
He does?
If he had
his
hands on you, if he even touched you, I would have.
Okay, it's okay. I'm here, boy. Just calm down, man, before you implode. His fist tightened at his sides. I stared wide-eyed as blood little by little began to drip through the crevices of his fingers. I stood and rushed over, laying myself across his back and pressing my forehead into the back of his neck. Sam, it's okay.
Is it?
I mean, right now, it kind of is. I looked up as Sam turned around to face me. He didn't touch me as his hands were still wounded from his tight fists, but his expression dimmed a bit to a look of sadness.
I would have never forgiven myself if you fell into his hands.
I mean, it wasn't like you couldn't have known. I stared deep into Sam's eyes, seeing the fear behind them. I was scared as well, but thankful to be saved by Sarah and Diana. Someone above was watching over me carefully, and I thank God for that. I wrapped my arm around Sam's neck and leaned my head to his, pressing my forehead to his own. I'm safe now. Diana and Sarah saved me from that.
Thank God for that.
Yeah, who fucking knew what would happen if they hadn't? Sam wrapped his arms around me, fist still closed, and pulled me to him tightly. I could see him biting his lip, almost piercing the skin, but maintaining some form of control. I frowned, but allowed silence to pass between us. We'll defeat the Demon Lord and go home soon. Sam nodded against my forehead, remaining quiet. We had to let this pass. We had to move on and mentally prepare ourselves for a war. Sam would get his anger quailed, and we would be able to return home at last. We had to. Sam and I eventually pulled away from each other, locking our gazes lovingly.
Come on. We can't stay up all night.
Is it night already? Fuck, I don't know what time it is. This room needs a clock, okay? Sam lifted his hand, which was now free of wounds and blood, and guided me to bed, crawling in after I settled in between the sheets. Sam and I embraced lovingly and let the darkness of the night take over, bringing us to a quiet slumber. And I had a fucking nightmare. The dark of sleep was usually a friend of mine, only showing me nightmares on the rarest of occasions. The nightmare of me dying sent shivers down my body as I recalled it, but I knew that it was only a dream. Would I have one like that again? I hope not. Would I have no choice in the matter if another came? That was another story. Here we are, bitches! I opened my eyes to find myself in the mouth of a cave that descended beneath the earth. Behind and above me was a bright light, where I could see my friends and family. However, as I looked down into the darkness, I caught the sight of Sam walking away further into the cave. Sam? He didn't answer. Sam continued forward, losing himself in the dark. I instantly began to follow, forgetting about the light for a moment before stopping and looking back. My family had a look of despair while my friends held each other, watching me with heartbroken faces. Was this some sort of message? Was I following Sam into a place my friends and family could not be in? Was this my future? I became torn. What was I gonna do?
You are.
Oh, there's fucking... I don't fucking know who that is. All of a sudden, the darkness became full of fire, and the bare outline of Sam flashed before burning away in the light of flames. He couldn't even let out a scream of pain as he was instantly burned to ash. Sam!
Run! Run!
God damn, Diana, you here too? Diana's voice echoed through the air, but I was frozen in place, watching the flames rush at me to take me as well. If I ran back, my heart would be scarred forever with the memory of flames taking my love away. If I stayed, I would die with Sam. I stood in the middle, unsure of what to do as the flames took me. I woke up in a hot sweat. Now, I feel like this is a really obvious show of what we're going to be faced with in the future, which is either letting go of Sam and surviving, or staying with him, sticking with him, and possibly dying, or going into some dark place with him. I mean, you know what I'm saying. Gah! Gripping the covers, I sat up, staring at the far wall before looking around. My heart was beating wildly as sweat ran down my cheeks and the sides of my head. Another nightmare. This time, however, Sam woke up with me.
Whoa!
Hey, boy, why do you sleep with
What's
pants
wrong?
on? That's, like, uncomfortable, dude. I looked at Sam, seeing him not burnt or as ashes, but perfectly okay. I turned towards him and wrapped my arms around him tightly, now desperate not to let him go. Sam, despite being surprised, wrapped his arms around me and held me close. 2 nightmares, both leaving me and Sam engulfed in flames. I died in the first, he died in the second. What was I going to believe anymore? Sam rubbed my back gently and planted a kiss on my shoulder.
Hey, it's okay, alright? It was a stupid night.
No, these aren't just nightmares, Sam. These are premonitions. Shit's gonna go down. But you died.
You know I can handle anything that comes my way.
That's what they always say. Could he really? He was strong and he was fast, but was he powerful enough to withstand whatever had let loose those flames to swallow him whole? You are not worthy. What did that voice mean? How was Sam not worthy? What was he not worthy of? There were a million questions running through my mind, and none of them could be answered, at least not at the moment. How do you know it was for Sam? How do you know it wasn't speaking to you? Maybe you're not worthy, bitch. I simply rested my head on Sam's chest and let him pull us back down to the bed to sleep.
Whatever happens, I'll always be here.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, boo. I nodded and closed my eyes, praying that I would not see the nightmare again. As fate was kind once more, I slept peacefully the remainder of the night. I slowly woke up from my sleep, feeling the ache of the morning consume and rush through my body relentlessly in an attempt to keep me contained in bed. I didn't mind. I was pressed against a warm chest, one whose arms I adored to be in. The nightmares plagued my thoughts, but my heart fluttered in reality, knowing that what I was feeling in the physical world was what I was supposed to care about. I looked up at Sam's sleeping face, giggling at the sight of his messy bed hair. Sam slowly woke from the sound of my laughter, blinking to sleep away to stare down at me. Morning! Love you. I smiled and kissed Sam on the lips to help arouse him. Rouse him, huh? Only to end up being pulled into a tight and loving embrace with my head buried in his shoulder.
Did you sleep okay?
Besides the horrific nightmare that nearly gave me a damn heart attack, yeah. The second time, yeah. Sam nodded, and understanding against my shoulder as I wrapped my arms around him. I felt so warm and safe within the confines of his embrace that the thoughts of the nightmare had vanished from my mind. It would come back, but it was gone for now. Kiss him again. Mwah! Why not? Why the fuck not? All the kisses. I pulled back a bit and kissed Sam once again, smiling happily and running my fingers along his back. Sam gently squeezed me and kissed me back, melting into the embrace between us. Maybe I shouldn't have. We got that nasty morning breath. I need to brush my teeth. Morning kisses with Sam felt wonderful, and I didn't want to get up or pull away. I simply desired to relish in the feelings I had for Sam and let him completely take over my thoughts.
Hey.
Yeah?
Since we're in the demon world, do you think that...
Oh, yes. I opened my eyes to look over his shoulder, trying to understand what he was insinuating. When it finally came to me, I held my breath in realization. The demon marriage?
You don't have to decide right now, but before we go back,
He's so cute.
maybe think about it.
Yeah, man. I wasn't sure what to say. My mind danced across the idea of binding my soul to Sam, but at what cost? I'll think about it. Sam nodded in understanding, kissing my shoulder. I knew it was something Sam really wanted, but was it something I was willing to go through? It really doesn't seem that bad. I mean, come on. Sam gently loosened his embrace and pulled away to look at me with a tired smile.
I don't want to get up yet.
Me neither. In fact, I'm gonna go back to bed right now. My bed's literally right there. I laughed, knowing this was how Sam operated in the morning. He was definitely not a morning person, so seeing him curl up to me and ask permission to stay in bed was still an endearing sight that reminded me how much I loved him. My heart warmed as I smiled and kissed his forehead. Then we don't have to. We can sleep a little longer if we want. Sam smiled and closed his eyes, pulling me against his chest with a hearty chuckle.
Good. We can go eat later.
Yeah. Our peace was broken, unfortunately, by the sound of knocking at our door. Sam and I let out a simultaneous groan. Our plan was ruined.
Go away!
Oh, fuck. Damn, Sam. That's a little rude. A little rude.
Sam, we brought breakfast.
We'll eat later!
Jesus Christ.
Are you seriously going to argue with me?
They really want to feed us.
Come on, it's like 9 a.m.
Only 9 a.m.? Well, I can't say anything. I get up. I really can't sleep past 9 most times. Like, I always get up earlier than 9 because my body's used to getting up for work. Now I was getting upset. I wanted to stay in bed, feel Sam's arm around me for a little while longer. Was that so much to ask? Screw breakfast. We have 3 more hours until noon.
Oh my god, just get up
Is
already.
everyone out there? Everyone is fucking out there. Jesus. Sam and I whined, now irritated that our plans to sleep in became ultimately impossible. However, we both understood that today was a new day and we had to start preparing to take on the Demon Lord. I slowly rose and sat up in bed, yawning as Sam begrudgingly followed suit. All right, come in. Sam he's not even dressed yet. Like, wait a second, damn. Okay, no, just everyone, pile right in. Fuck it. The door opened and in poured the Incubi brothers and their wives, carrying a plate of food each. Why is everyone eating in here? Like, one of you could have brought us food. Not everyone. Everyone didn't have to come in here. James and Iridessa held out their 2 extra plates for me and Sam.
Thanks, Dessa.
You're welcome, Sparky.
Fucking Sparky? Where the fuck did that come from? Thank you, James.
Of course.
James and Iridessa moved away from us as we both looked down at our plates. On it were fruit slices, bread, cheese, and some form of jerky I didn't recognize. It was probably safe, knowing that the others were eating it as well. Sam, however, lowered his plate to his lap and looked up at his brothers.
So, what's the plan?
Let's hear it.
Well, we should probably take the next couple of days to train properly. Since we're at Lilith
Obviously.
Castle, we'll have access to training equipment.
Lilith Castle? This place has a name? The boys and Irene, Eric's wife, nodded in reply. Sam stuffed a stick of jerky in his mouth and began to chew it on it as Damien began to explain.
The first succubus, Lilith, was exiled here after being cast out of Eden by the heavens.
Mm-hmm.
She became a demon and soon began to breed more incubi and succubi than the world could control.
Wait, Lilith as in Lilith from the Bible?
Yes. During her time here,
Wow.
she established a kingdom with this very castle at its heart.
It's a pretty castle indeed. I've never had the pleasure of coming here.
Well, now you have.
I'm not really a fan of it.
Matthew, what the fuck? This place is awesome. Sam swallowed the bite of jerky he had in his mouth and licked his lips, joining the conversation.
Alright, so we train until we can't anymore.
Isn't that what we already decided? What kind of fucking plan was that? We're gonna train. Okay, so what's the plan? We're gonna train. We already fucking knew that.
Obviously, we'll need breaks in between, but we can't afford to let a day go by without intense training. We only have a week after
Agreed.
all.
Yeah. Worry began to bubble back into my mind. Everyone was willing to step up and start training, but Eric was right. We only had a week to prepare for the Demon Lord. Would we be strong enough in time?
You fear too soon,
Satan?
child.
No, wait. Isn't the Demon Lord like Satan? So that can't be Satan, right? I would assume so. Could it? I don't fucking know. I straightened up my back and looked around, hearing the voice from my dream echo through the air. Everyone else looked at me curiously, wondering why I spoke up. Is there gonna be like somebody fucking talking to me inside my head at every path? Cause Matthew's path was his goddamn mom. Who the fuck knows who this is? I don't know. It doesn't sound like the Demon Lord, that's for damn sure.
Wait, what?
Did you say something?
No. I looked around at everyone, seeing their confused faces. Did they not hear the voice?
They cannot hear me, child.
Okay. I shook my head, rubbing it gently with a nervous laugh. Sorry, I thought I missed something. The confusion in everyone's face dissipated as everyone got back to the topic at hand, one I couldn't remember or focus on. My thoughts went back to the voice, wondering how it was speaking to me and how it knew what I was thinking.
I am closer than
He is inside of me! What do you mean?
Be patient, child. The time for answers
God?
will come soon enough.
You sound pretty dark. I don't know who you might be. I grew more and more concerned and confused. What was the spirit talking about?
I am no mere spirit.
He's reading my goddamn thoughts. Don't think about Sam, for the love of God. That's gonna be embarrassing. Then what are you?
That I cannot tell you yet. When the time comes, you will know.
Of course you can't tell me yet. This was mildly scary. A voice in my head was speaking to me, and I could only speak back in my thoughts without anyone knowing what was going on. I looked around to see everyone still speaking to each other, but I couldn't focus on what they were saying. All I could focus on was the voice in my head.
Answers will come when the time is right. For now, I will bid you farewell.
What was even the purpose of you talking to me then? You didn't give me no useful goddamn information. Wait!
Whoa, wait, what?
I didn't realize I spoke aloud until everyone looked at me again. I looked to Damien, wondering if he heard everything going on in my head, but he seemed just as confused, if not more so, than the others. I am going insane, Matthew. Might as well tell them, why the fuck not? I sighed. They had to know what was going on. Well, I just heard this voice in my head.
Huh?
Yeah, it sounds crazy. Let me explain, alright? Let me explain.
A voice in your head? But I didn't hear any other voice but yours.
Did it sound like anyone you know?
No, actually, it didn't. Unless I'm close with Satan. I shook my head, remembering the sound of it. It was deep and echoey, masking any relatable trace from it. For all I knew, it was some sort of illusionary creation of my own mind. Then again, if I created it, then Damien would have been able to hear it. I sighed and rubbed my head. It was some sort of deep voice telling me to be more patient and not be afraid. It wouldn't tell me its name. I became worried about everyone thinking that I was crazy. I knew I wasn't, but I definitely sounded like someone who wasn't mentally there. Sam, however, wrapped an arm around me and hugged me to his side.
Well, whoever that voice is, it's right. There's nothing to be afraid of.
You're way too calm about this. If there's actually a voice in my goddamn head, I think we should be like, what the fuck is going on? Who's this voice? You're way too calm.
I wouldn't be too sure about that just yet.
Everyone in the room turned their heads to see Diana and Sarah standing at the door. Diana stepped further into the room as Sarah stood at attention, watching her.
You 5 have been gone during the 10 years of this war. You do not seriously believe that you will
Stop
be ready
trying
for
to
this in a
stop
mere
us. We are gonna battle. We are gonna be a part of this war, and you're not gonna change that. Diana seemed firm and serious. I could understand why, but a part of me felt a bit angry that she shut down our pep talk. Sam glared at Diana.
And if we do?
Jesus. He's always so intense.
Then it is a foolish mistake.
How so?
10 years of absence can be unkind to one's abilities.
That's true.
To be fair, it has only been
But
2
I mean,
years
like
for
I
us.
said, we all saw what Sam did to you. And you're supposedly the leader of this war.
Regardless, when was the last time any of you actually fought in battle?
Silence consumed the room. She was right. However, we weren't willing to give up that easily. I stood and placed my plate on the bed behind me. Why does it matter? We're going to defeat the Demon Lord either way.
We will. But there is no reason to try and breed ideas of false hope that it will be easy.
No one said it was gonna be easy.
Too many lives have been lost
I don't know where you heard that.
with the hope that they'll all survive. It's better to be realistic.
The tone of her voice echoed a heavy warning. No doubt she had seen hundreds or thousands of deaths in the war firsthand. But now was not the time to doubt ourselves. Sam stood up as well, standing at my side in defiance.
Fuck that. If you're right, then hope's the only thing we got.
He does not give two shits. Sarah stepped up to Diana's side, giving Sam a blank stare in return for his mistress.
Hope can only take you so far. Do you truly believe it will help you defeat the Demon Lord?
I'm not gonna say that hope alone will do it, but hope is definitely a driving factor. If you don't have hope, you don't try as hard, you're not gonna succeed. most of the time. I felt Sam take my hand and nod, affirming his words. I smiled and squeezed his hand, agreeing. Sarah and Diana stared at us with Diana crossing her arms. Something was on Diana's mind as she stared at Sam just from looking in her eyes. What was it?
Can you say that with confidence?
I think he just did, pretty much.
I can.
Okay, there you go.
Want me to?
Not to derail the topic, but this is a waste of time.
He's
we
got
should
a
be
point.
preparing for war, not bickering about if we can or not.
He's got a point. A moment of silence passed through the room as Diana stared at Sam sternly. However, she was distracted, distant from the conversation as she was stalling time to have her thoughts wander. What was keeping her real attention?
Well, I'm not going to argue about this. Believe what you wish.
I was gonna anyways, bitch! Sam and I waited and watched as Diana lowered her arms to her sides with a sigh.
However, we do have something to discuss.
Yes? Diana ran a hand through her hair and looked around the room, pressing her lips into a fine line.
So, about all of you participating in the war.
Yes, we get to pick who we want to train with now. Now, we trained with Shadow, so we're gonna pick somebody else that we haven't trained with. Everyone nodded in agreement to Diana's statement. While we weren't battle ready, we still needed to at least know how to defend ourselves. Diana, however, looked to me.
You, most of all.
Yeah, because I'm just a mere mortal. Huh? Me? Why are you so fucking surprised about that? Yes, you! You're facing off with a bunch of goddamn demons! I was suddenly confused. How come I was the odd one out that had to be ready the most? The last thing I remembered about me training was that Diana was against the idea altogether. Diana sighed and rubbed her temple.
Apparently, there are guidelines to
Oh, here we go with the, small...
Not only do we have to kill the demon lord,
prince,
but you have to be nearby when it happens for the curse to break.
That makes no sense. Where did you learn this?
Shadow. He spent the night trying to find alternative ways to break your curse.
And there was nothing.
We didn't find anything of the sort, but we found the guidelines to breaking it.
Well, it still makes no sense.
Even while it doesn't, it's still better to be safe than sorry.
Agreed.
I don't want to kill him and then still have you stuck here because of an error.
I could only sigh and take it in, so I had to be there when the Demon Lord fell. Great. Diana waved her hand dismissively through the air, breaking my potential thoughts.
Anyway, we can't have you dying on the way there, and we can't monitor you when we're in battle. You should at least know how to...
She's got a point, Scrib Scrab.
That's why we've come up with a solution.
Huh? What solution?
Simple.
She was probably about to tell us before you interrupted, Matthew.
Have agreed that if you'd like a trainer to enhance your abilities,
all right,
you can train with one of them.
I stared, seeing Sarah step forward with a nod.
Each of the leaders is proficient.
Yes. Sarah nodded and bowed to me slightly while I was flattered at the idea that I really need a trainer. Yes, you do, bitch. I knew Taekwondo. That's not enough! Are you stupid? And I at least knew how to defend myself, demon or not. Then again, we were in the demon world where magic was the norm. Okay, so yes, I'd like to train. I'm gonna pick Sarah this